In this video, I'm going to walk through the Component Properties panel and the different properties available. The Component Properties panel is on the right-hand side of the UI editor. At the top, we have the Layout section, which controls the position and layout of your components within your canvas. We have the Width and Height properties, which are currently set to Auto. This means when you adjust the child components of a layer, the size of its parent will automatically adjust. For example, if I duplicate these components using Ctrl+D, you can see the parent layer adjusts to fit the size of its children. If I change the height property to fill, the layer will stretch to fit the size of its parent. You can also set a fixed height and width to specify exact dimensions for your components. For example, if I set the width to 30, the component will maintain these dimensions regardless of its content. Sometimes the child components will stretch or squash to fit their parent, but that depends on what their width and height size type properties are set to. Now, let's look at the positioning options. Flex positioning is applied by default on all containers. With flex positioning, components are aligned and distributed within a container. Quickly change from a horizontal layout to a vertical one, or change the distribution settings to change how the child components are positioned inside the container. The flex property is one of the easiest ways to position components on the canvas, as it automatically distributes its child components for you. For more information on positioning components, see the Flex and Absolute Positioning tutorial. The padding property controls the space inside the component's border, creating space around its content. You can adjust the padding values to increase or decrease this space. Changing the padding values can cause child components to squash or stretch, depending on their width and height settings. While padding controls the space inside a component's border, the margin controls the space outside its border. Adjusting the margin values can help you position components more precisely while maintaining their inherited flex settings. For example, setting a top margin of 10 will move the component down while maintaining its parent's flex distribution settings. Additional properties can be added to the Layout section by pressing the Additional Properties button. Moving on to the Style section, the Fill property allows you to change the color and style of your component. Change between None, Solid Color, Gradient, or an image to be your background. For certain components, you can also apply a corner radius. This can be applied to all corners uniformly, or to individual corners by pressing the Individual Corners button. Like the Layout section, the Style section also has some additional properties that can be added, such as a stroke and a shadow. Finally, we have the Actions section. Here, you can define interactions for your components. These actions can include navigating to another page, opening another scenario, or exiting the scenario completely. Actions can be applied to any component, not just to buttons. That's a detailed overview of the Component Properties panel. With these tools, you can precisely control the appearance, layout, and interactions of your components within the canvas.